My own family invited me from Thanksgiving dinner this year, not because I started a fight, not because I caused trouble, but because my sister's new husband said he felt unsafe with me around. He told everyone he did not want me anywhere near his house. The strange part, he acted like he was afraid of me. Pause. Even though he had no idea that I already knew exactly what he had done. Marcus was sitting at his small kitchen table, writing a grocery list for Thanksgiving. Turkey, potatoes, stuffing. He had even planned to bring his mom's favorite pie. His phone rang. It was his mother. Her voice sounded strange the moment he answered came, carefully like she had practiced the word before calling. Marcus, she said, I needed to tell you something. He leaned back in his chair, suddenly uneasy. You won't be at Thanksgiving this year. Marcus blinked. What? There was a short pause. Your sister's husband, Ethan, she continued. He thinks you run the vibe. Run the vibe. The words sounded dry, delicious, cold, like he was a stranger they did not want around. Marcus waited for someone else to speak, for his sister to text, for his dad to call. Nothing. No message, no explanation, just silence, which means they had all agreed. A familiar feeling settled in his chest, the same one he had now since he was a kid, the feeling of being the odd one in his own family. He could argue, he could demand an explanation, but Marcus knew how that would look. So he simply said, I understand. Then he hung up. Later that night, Marcus sat alone in his apartment. Outside, the city lights glowed through the window. Inside, the room felt empty. At first there was a sadness, then anger. He started replying every conversation he had ever had with Ethan. The strange logs, the pointed question about Marcus' job, his office, his position. Ethan had not asked those things casually. He had asked them like he was checking something, like he was already afraid of the answer. The next morning, Marcus arrived at work early. His office was the one place in his life that always felt steady, predictable, controlled. He had barely sat down when his assistant knocked gently on the door. Marcus, she said, sounding confused. There's a man in reception asking for you. He says it's urgent. Marcus looked up from his laptop. What's his name? She hesitated for a second. Ethan. Marcus stood slowly. When he walked into the lobby, he saw him immediately. Ethan was standing near the reception desk, but he did not look like the calm, confident man Marcus had met at the wedding. His face was pale, his eyes were wide. For a moment, he looked like someone who had just seen a ghost. The second Ethan was Marcus walking toward him, he stood to his feet. Now, now, Ethan muttered under his breath. That cannot be right. A few employees nearby stopped talking. The quiet tension in the lobby made everyone notice. Ethan looked around the room at the company logo on the wall, at the Scotty Baker's employees wore around their neck. Then his eyes returned to Marcus. His voice dropped to a whisper. You are Marcus, he said slowly. Marcus called. The compliance director. Marcus did not react. Yes, he said calmly. Ethan's hands began to shake. He grabbed the back of a chair to steady himself. For a long moment, he just started. Then he whispered almost to himself, Oh my God! He looked up again, panic veiling his face. Your sister. She did not know. Marcus stayed silent. Ethan swallowed hard and finally said the truth. He worked at a mid-sized financial consulting firm that had been under quite regulatory investigation for the month. A case Marcus had been leading. At the wedding, Ethan had seen Marcus' name on the guest list. At brunch the next day, he had casually asked about Marcus' job complaints. Ethan had hoped it was just a guidance, but fear had been growing in the back of his mind. So he did the only thing that made sense to him. He made sure Marcus was not welcome at the family table anymore. Marcus looked Ethan straight in the eye. He did not raise his voice. He did not move closer. He simply stood there calm and steady. Ethan, Marcus said quietly, the investigation already connected to the dots last week. For a second, Ethan did not react. Then his face fell. The color turned from it completely. The records were pure. Marcus continued the transaction, the internal reports, everything. Ethan tightened on the chair. He had come to this office hoping to claim his fare, hoping maybe the name Marcus Cole was just a concatenance. Instead, he had walked straight into the answer he was afraid of. The case was not starting, it was already built. Ethan swallowed hard. Am I in serious trouble? Marcus did not look away. That depends on what the records show, he said Emily, but I suggested you start preparing for some very serious question. Ethan nodded weakly. Then he turned and walked out of the lobby, looking like a man walking toward a storm he could not escape. Marcus' assistant stepped closer. Do I even want to know what that was about? Marcus picked up his folder. Not today.